Caleb Williams is not just stepping onto the field for his playoff debut. He is stepping into the eye of a storm that has been building in Chicago for over a decade. This is the moment where legends are forged or dreams are crushed, and the weight of an entire city's championship drought is resting squarely on the shoulders of a rookie. Are you ready to witness the start of a historic dynasty at Soldier Field, or are we about to see another chapter of playoff heartbreak against our most hated rivals? Before we break down every single detail of this massive matchup and dive into the high-stakes injury report, do me a huge favor, smash that like button, share this with every fan you know, and subscribe so you never miss a second of this incredible postseason journey. The energy surrounding the facility right now is absolutely electric, and it all starts with the man under center, Caleb Williams. He sat down with the media recently, and I have to tell you, the vibe was different. This wasn't a rookie who was just happy to be here. This was a franchise leader who looked like he was born for the postseason. When you listen to him speak, there isn't a shred of doubt in his voice. He told reporters point blank that he is built for these moments. He talked about his mental preparation, the grueling work behind the scenes, and the countless reps that have led him to this point. He even poked a little fun at his own growth, saying he'd probably be horrified if he went back and watched his early film because he's evolved so much as a player and a leader since then. That kind of self-awareness and supreme confidence is exactly what this franchise has been missing in the quarterback room for years. He isn't looking at the Green Bay Packers as a scary hurdle. He's looking at them as the necessary victim on his path to greatness. He believes his preparation has earned him the right to be confident, and honestly, after watching his development over the last few months, it's hard to disagree. He has seen the results of his labor. And even though the team didn't play their absolute best ball against the Detroit Lions last week, Caleb is heading into Saturday with his chin up and his eyes on the prize. But let's get real for a second because as fans, our hearts are always in our throats during playoff week. How do you personally feel about Caleb leading the charge? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your genuine confidence level in our rookie sensation taking down the Packers in his very first playoff start? Are you an 8 like some of the analysts, or are you sitting at a nervous 5? Head coach Ben Johnson has seen this transformation from the front row. He noted that Williams is a completely different quarterback today than he was when this journey began. We are going to need every bit of that evolution because the playoffs are a different beast entirely. Johnson's message to the team all week has been about one thing: the start. We cannot afford to wake up in the third quarter. We saw what happened against Detroit. Human nature starts to creep in. You feel like you've already made it, because you're in the dance, and suddenly you're down 2 scores. In the playoffs, if you don't play at least a B-plus game for all 60 minutes, you are going to be packing your bags on Sunday morning. You don't need to be perfect, but you have to be present from the very first snap of the opening kickoff. Speaking of being present, Cole Kmet dropped some veteran wisdom that really puts things into perspective. He said this game isn't about who wants it more. Let's be honest, that's fan talk. In a playoff game between Chicago and Green Bay, every single person on that field wants it. The hunger is a baseline requirement. What actually decides the game are the details. It's the fundamentals. It's the pad level. It's not jumping off sides when the crowd is screaming. Ben Johnson pointed out that the offense had 6 mental errors in the first 11 plays last week. That is how you lose a season. Kmet is hammering home the idea that it takes all 11 guys doing their specific job on every single play to win a drive, to win a quarter, and ultimately to win the game. If you don't do the little things, the big things will never happen. Now, for our question of the day. If you could pick one non-quarterback player on this roster who must have a career-defining game for us to win on Saturday, who is it? Is it a playmaker on offense or a disruptor on defense? Explicitly let me know in the comments below, because I want to see who you guys are putting your chips on. Looking at the veterans who have been through the fire, Kevin Byard is clearly feeling the gravity of this run. He's been a revelation for this secondary, leading the league with 7 interceptions and bringing a level of veteran savvy that has stabilized the entire back end of the defense. Byard has been through the ringer lately, getting traded from Tennessee, a weird stint in Philly, and then joining a struggling squad here last year. But this year? He's rejuvenated. He knows the city of Chicago is starving for a winner, and at 32 years old, he knows these opportunities are precious. He isn't just playing for a win, he's playing for a legacy and for a city that he believes truly deserves a championship run. Then we have to talk about the defensive front, specifically Montez Sweat. He is a polarizing figure for some because we know how high his ceiling is, and we desperately need him to hit it this weekend. Sweat has been on some losing teams in his career, and he admitted to the media that it feels strange, in a good way, to be preparing for the postseason instead of packing up his car for the winter. But feeling good isn't enough. We need production. He's likely going up against Zach Tom, who has been playing at an elite level, but Sweat has to find another gear. He's like a streaky shooter in basketball. When he pops, he's unstoppable. We need him to pop on Saturday. If he's a no-show, this defensive line doesn't have enough horses to consistently pressure the quarterback, and that could be a recipe for disaster. Ben Johnson's vision for this team doesn't end on Saturday night either. He told the media that the team is mentally prepared to play for the next 5 weeks. That means they have their sights set on the Super Bowl. It's a bold, almost audacious mentality, but that's the kind of confidence you need to foster if you're going to survive the gauntlet. He's challenging these players to find a gear they didn't even know they had. After watching the press conferences, it's clear that the veteran leaders and the coaching staff have delivered a "go time" message that has resonated through every corner of the locker room. They are treated this as a wide-open year in the NFL, and they believe they can be the ones to cause the most damage. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the injury report, because health is the ultimate equalizer in January. For the home team, it's a bit of a mixed bag. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka are still stuck in the concussion protocol. Given that they haven't been practicing, it's looking like a massive uphill battle for them to be cleared by Saturday. We've also seen an illness hit Jot Walker, which is always a concern this time of year, but the hope is that he'll be back to full strength by kickoff. On a more positive note, Braxton Jones and Nick McLeod were both full participants in the walkthrough. That is huge for our depth and our starting rotation. As for the young stars, Rome Odunze and Kyler Gordon were limited, but the vibe is optimistic. I'd be shocked if they weren't out there. Gordon might be on a pitch count as he comes off IR, but having him back in the fold changes the way this defense can operate. They'll have a specific role for Rome, too, and we all know he's a threat to score every time he touches the ball. As for the guys coming down from Wisconsin, they've got their own headaches. Bo Melton is out with a knee injury, and they have a laundry list of players who are banged up. Javon Bullard and Ejerin Cooper are dealing with knee issues, and Zach Tom is limited as well. Their head coach mentioned that Malik Willis should be available as the backup, and they even swapped out some quarterbacks on the practice squad just to be safe. It doesn't matter who they line up, though, the objective remains the same. Our defensive line has to win the battle at the point of attack. The weather is the final wild card. There is talk of a nasty storm rolling through, which could turn this into a classic black and blue division battle. If the wind is whipping and the snow is falling, it might not be a high-flying aerial circus. It'll come down to who can hold onto the ball and who can win in the trenches. I've got the home team winning a close one, 27-24. But if the weather gets truly ugly, we might be looking at a much lower score. So, what's your final prediction? Who walks away with the win? And what is the final score going to be on the scoreboard when the clock hits 0? Drop your predictions below and let's get the debate started. This is the biggest game of the year, and I can't wait to see how our boys respond to the pressure of the postseason. I'm incredibly grateful to have you all along for the ride. Make sure you stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to the weekend. We'll have everything you need to stay ahead of the game. We'll see you in the next one. Bear down.